Amazing. All right.
You've got 17 participants on already.
Okay.
Oh, nice. Hi.
All right, and it is streaming. So Randy, I'm going to turn the hosting privileges over to you.
Okay.
And good luck in about 4 minutes.
Sounds good.
Okay.
All right. See ya.
Yeah.
Are we live? Oh, is it Randy?
Yeah.
Hey, Randy, are you there?
And
Hey, so we're still not live, right?
what we're saying is being recorded, but it's not going out to the live stream.
Oh, I just wanted to say a prayer real quick. Do you mind joining us for that?
Feel free.
Okay. Oma, ready? Okay. Father in heaven, grateful for today, grateful for this opportunity, and whether there are few or many who are watching, we're grateful for this opportunity. Bless us that we may say things that will help other people. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we've got 2 minutes and we'll go live. And I will, Joseph, I will introduce you and the session and give them some notes about it being recorded and how to use the session chat for questions, and then turn the time over to you.
No, give me these two because that one I want to use. One, no, keep the other. Oh, now. How do I see myself? That perfect. Okay.
One minute.
Thank you. Whatever's on my screen. Because then I know. This. Oh, yeah.
10 seconds and I start the introduction. Welcome to the Family Bible, How to Find, Use, and Share It, presented by Joseph Carey. A reminder that this session is being recorded. Also, if you have questions during the session, feel free to put them in the chat, and periodically we'll stop and answer any questions that have been asked. Joseph, it's all yours.
Randy, thank you. And to everyone who's tuned in to watch this session of RootsTech 2023, I want to thank you. And I want to stress that this is going to be an interactive session. So I do want to hear your questions. And even though you won't be able to ask them verbally, you will be able to type them into a chat and send them to us that way. And we'll spend just a handful of seconds showing you how to do that. But my name is Joe Carey, and I am the founder of Bible Rescue. And Bible Rescue, we're just going to advance it. Oh, technical difficulties on the first slide. So Bible Rescue was actually an organization that I founded. It's a nonprofit. And about 10 years ago, I was in Philadelphia. And I went to a yard sale. I am not a genealogist, or I should say a passionate genealogist. I enjoy family history, but it's not something that, if I had a choice of like 10 things, that would be on the list, but it probably wouldn't be near the top. But I was at this yard sale, and there were a bunch of older books on a table. And one of the books was a family Bible. And this isn't the Bible, but it's very close to what it was. So just a small family Bible. And it was on this table. And as I opened it up, I saw that there was, I don't think you can see that, but there was some family history written into the Bible itself. And just then, a light rain, a mist started to come down. And I remember thinking as I held that Bible in my hands, if I don't protect this Bible, that family history information will be lost forever. There's not another Bible like that in the world, because no other Bible has those dates, has those names, has those stories. And so I made the decision to purchase that Bible. I rescued that Bible. And that was the launch of what is now a national nonprofit called Bible Rescue. And we're a little bit different because there's a lot of organizations that gather family history from old documents or from Bibles. What we do is we extract that information, but then we reunite that Bible with living descendants. And we want to pass on that gift from the past to descendants living today. So that's what we're going to talk about the next hour, your family Bible, how to find it, how to use it, how to share it. I just want to stress that this is your class, this is your time. So if you have questions, feel free to ask those. Now you will see a chat feature on your side of the screen. If you engage that, you will be able to message us, meaning Randy will see those messages and he will relay those to me. And then we will answer your questions live here in the webinar. So please, if we're talking, feel free, if something resonates with you, or if you have a question and you don't want to forget it, please feel free to send us that chat message. The other thing I want you to know is that I can't see you. I can just read your messages, but I do want to do something to kind of make sure that we're all on the same page. So I am going to ask you now to take the time to open up the chat and just type in where you are watching this webinar from. If you're in the United States, let me know the city and state. If you're in a different country, let me know the country and the city you're watching it from. But that way, you'll get familiar with the chat feature, and we'll share some of your answers a little later on in the webinar. So again, you should see the chat feature and just type in that information, and then we'll all be able to see it together. Let me tell you a little bit about our threefold mission at Bible Rescue. So we rescue family Bibles, and the picture that you are seeing in your screen right now, this is a small portion of the family Bibles that we have rescued. And when people come into the room, they walk into a room, and from floor to ceiling, on all four sides of the room are these family Bibles. And people are, well, how do you rescue them? Where do you get them? And we'll talk about that a little later on. Most of them we purchase. We have a system where we track these family Bibles down, and we can purchase them. Several are donated. And what I learned when I had that experience in Philadelphia, I learned that I wasn't the first person to have this impulse, this feeling that I had to preserve this information. And in the last 10 years that we have been operating Bible Rescue, hundreds of people have taken the time to send us a family Bible. And they will typically include a note that will say something along these lines. I went to a yard sale, or I was cleaning out a house, or I was at a flea market or a yard sale, and I saw this family Bible and I had to buy it. And almost always they purchased it with the intent to reunite it with living family. That can be much harder than it seems. And we have had people who have purchased a Bible. 2 days ago, we had a woman stop by our office, and she brought a Bible with her that her mother had purchased in Lancaster, Pennsylvania, decades ago for 50 cents. And the intent was always, let's reunite this Bible. But life happens, and sometimes that falls down on the priority list. So we acquire our Bibles from two sources. One, we go out and we buy them, or people send them to us. Regardless of how we receive the Bible, we always go out and do our best through our volunteers to record the information inside. And when I say record, and this is important too, when you have your family Bible, or if you have it, it's not just capturing the family history, but it's also collecting certain facts about the Bible itself. And then we reunite that Bible with living descendants. And this is all made possible by our great volunteers. I do want to give a shout out to an organization in Iowa. This gentleman and his father, they have been rescuing and preserving family Bibles for a long time, 2 generations. And their work has been done in quiet and behind the scenes. And we regularly work with them to acquire those family Bibles to reunite them. So to everyone, to Adrian in Iowa, to individuals all around the world who have ever gone out and said, I need to protect that Bible, thank you. Thank you. So with that, let's jump to it. This is our website, and we've tried to keep it as simple as possible. If you go to BibleRescue.org, all you need to do is type in the last name, first name, middle name, the city someone was born in, the state. Every Bible that we have in our database, whether we currently have it or whether it's been reunited already, that Bible will populate in a list, and you will see images of the Bible, as well as the information which our volunteers have extracted relating to all the information in that Bible. And a little later on, we'll have the opportunity to actually see if we have your family Bible. So let's jump right into it. Why is the family Bible so important? What makes it so essential when we're doing family history? One, it's considered a primary source, meaning that the information, there's almost a presumption of accuracy of the information in the family Bible. But there's a couple of things we have to look for to make sure that that presumption of accuracy would actually apply. So the first one is, whenever you have your family Bible, you want to check 2 things. You want to check the date of publication, and you want to make sure that the date of publication precedes any of the recorded family history in the Bible. So for instance, this is the Dormius Bible. this Bible was actually printed, I think that's June 1750. Think about that. 1750. My children think I was born in 1750. That's an old Bible. We actually received this Bible as a donation from someone who rescued it and wanted to make sure it got back to living descendants. So when we talk about making sure the date of publication precedes the other dates in the Bible, once we have the date of publication, you want to check all the other dates in the Bible. So we know that 1779, 1783, 1786, 1790, they all follow the date of publication. What that tells us at a certain level is that most likely that information was recorded at the time or near the time of the event which it is trying to capture. If we know the Bible was printed in June of 1715, but we see somebody's birthday listed as May of 1712, we know that that information, it could still be accurate, but we know that someone went back and relied upon their memory, relied upon something else, a different document, to record that information. But if the information follows the date of publication or is contemporaneous with it, that's an indication of, wow, this is a primary source. There's a likelihood that that information is correct. The other thing that you want to look out for is represented by this yellow line that you're seeing. And what that is telling us is that are the dates that we see in the Bible chronological? And in this case, they are. It starts with 1779 and it ends with 1790. And what that is telling us is there's a good likelihood that these events were recorded contemporaneously to capture what was happening at the time. If we see a date of 1786, and then following that date, we see 1783, we know that someone is probably playing catch up, right? Somebody wants to record something that wasn't recorded at the time. Again, it doesn't mean the information isn't accurate, but it's something we should look at and say, you know what, this may not be as credible or as reliable as these other dates, which appear to have been recorded contemporaneously. If you have any questions, please send us a chat and we will get to those. But I think this is pretty simple. The other thing is also interesting. The last point, when we're looking at the credibility and reliability of the family Bible, is that we need to look at, are there different handwriting styles in the Bible? And so this example here, this is the Perkins Family Bible. If you look here, you will see at least 4 distinct styles of handwriting. That's a good sign. What that means is one thing you don't want to see is if you open a family Bible and all the information is recorded in one particular handwriting style, because that's an indication that somebody was just going back in time and saying, okay, let me record all this information. But when you see different handwriting styles, that's a really good sign. So if we start at the top, we can see one particular sign. And then we see, I think that's Mabel W. Clark. You see this pivot to a different handwriting style. That's a sign that, again, we don't know, but it's an indication because of the style change that this may have been written or was likely to have been written at the time of the event. In this case, it was a death, December 29th, 1913. And I can't make out those particular years. But finally, the last thing you want to look for is a difference in coloring. So here you can see at the top portion of the death sheet from the Bible, it is in a different color then what looks to have been written in pencil for Mabel, and then Edmund Elliot is written in blue pen, followed by the last entry, which appears to have been written in some kind of heavier marker. Those are all good signs, because again, it's an indication that somebody was recording this information at or about the time that it was happening. This is another Bible that makes that same point. This is the Dormius Bible. And again, we've broken it up where the top third, clearly that's one person making all those entries. The font looks the same. The color of the writing is the same. If you go to the middle section, not only is there a change in handwriting style, but there's also a change in the type of color that was used. And then finally, at the very bottom, you can see again a change in font and a change in the coloring. Now, it does look like there is a question. And the question is, do you have the Bible information in some kind of searchable format? So even if you reunite the Bible, can other descendants of the original owners access the information? That is a great question. And the answer to that is yes. So when we talk about how we record the information, we can get into that more. But if you visit our website, BibleRescue.org, and you were to type in the last name of Fish or Coons or Smith, if you see that, you'll see the page populate with 10 Bibles, 20 Bibles, 30 Bibles. But wherever that name appears in the Bible, if it appears in a Bible, it will be pulled up for you to look at. And then on that particular Bible, you will see if it's been reunited, it will say reunited September 2022, reunited December 2019. But the information will be available for everyone. And we do that at no cost or charge. You can always come and see the information in the Bible for free. This is a long one. Wow, that's fantastic. So this person's indicating that someone reached out to them in 2005 and said through a message board that they had a Bible with particular family history information in it that may have been related to this individual's family. Through a series of events, they weren't able to get back to them very quickly, and now they can't contact this person at all. I would say the best thing to do there is the platform itself. So if you were on Facebook, Facebook does not permit you to contact an individual directly, even if you know their username, even if you're listed as friends, but different platforms have different protocols. So I would start with the platform you were on and go backwards and see what their policy is. So for instance, if somebody donates a family Bible to us, at the time of donation, we will ask them and say, is it okay if people contact you about this Bible? And if they say yes, when you look at that particular Bible on our website, you'll see a button that will say contact the donor. And if you press it, I think they have the option of giving their phone number or email. Some people are okay with that. Some people would rather say, for whatever reason, I'm just donating this and I prefer not to be contacted. But let me share this. That is actually something we added due to the feedback we received from you. People were saying we would like a way to contact these individuals that donate the Bible, even if they're not related to me. They just want to know, how did they get it? Where did they get it? When did they get it? And again, not being a genealogist, I didn't look at that information as very important. Right now, I'm actually hearing your sighs when I say that. But the feedback was, hey, that's really important. Can you include that as part of what you're doing? And we have. let me just answer these questions that we received. I have a family Bible from 1857 in Czech. The dates and persons listed are also in Czech. I do not speak this language. Where do I go to get a translation? Oh, this is fantastic. If you go to Facebook and you search translation groups or groups that translate, you upload the image that you want translated, and good people from all around the planet will translate that for you. It is free and it is incredibly accurate. So that's where we go sometimes for our translations. We go right to a Facebook group and they translate it for us because family Bibles come in many different languages. This is a great question. Do you take scanned pages for your database? So I'm assuming you're asking because you have your family Bible. And if you are blessed. If you do have your family Bible, yes, absolutely. Message us on Facebook. We're at Bible Rescue is our Facebook name. And we will send you an email address or an upload link for you to upload those family history records for our database. One caveat, and we're kind of jumping ahead. I will say Randy warned us to save the questions for the end. Remember that? And I was like, no, let him ask during the presentation. But now, Randy, you were right. I can see the wisdom in that. So we will talk about when you do send scanned images, and I've learned this, that it's not just the family history. You want to send the title page for the Bible. But then in a lot of older Bibles, there's a second title page between the Old Testament and the New Testament. And that title page can be different from the title page at the front of the Bible. So if you are going to send us the information, just for completeness, please send us the title page in the front, the title page in the middle, and then any scanned family history information. And we will also make a notation if you would like us to, and we hope you do, to share that that Bible was donated by this particular family. I'm going to answer two more and then we're going to continue. Where can I get a family Bible for both sides of the family? That's ambitious. I will tell you that there are individuals that have reached out to us that do have family Bibles for both sides going back several generations. I will tell you that in my experience over 10 years, very difficult to do for several reasons. But again, when we talk about how to find your family Bible, I think we'll have some good clues in there for how to do that. And then the last question before we move on, I have my husband's family Bible. The original ancestor had 23 children. So there are many living descendants. We are keeping the Bible, but would like to share the images. I've added scanned images to family search and ancestry linked to each person listed in the Bible. Where else can I share the images? I hope you would share them with us. We are one of the largest holders of family Bibles. That is not an institution. And I tell our volunteers this all the time. The happiest day for me will when I walk into our Bible Rescue office and there's no Bibles on the shelf. That's our goal. Our goal is to reunite the Bible. It's not just to keep that information and keep the Bible. And I'll tell you why. There's a certain power that comes from it. There's something special about holding your family Bible in your hands and taking your fingertips and running them across the words written by your great-grandparents, a great uncle, or we're going to read some stories that were recorded in family Bibles. Powerful and moving. There's an organization that family Bibles are big. Let me see. Can you say thank you, Emily? So you saw the picture earlier. This is probably about 4 inches by 8 inches. You have a couple thousand of these, it's taking up a lot of space. And there are some organizations that will actually rip the family history pages out of the family Bible. And they'll keep the family history pages and then they'll donate the Bible to be given out. and they will scan those pages, but they have the original. It breaks my heart. It breaks my heart. Like, I look at that as like, you know, those family history pages, that's the heart, the lungs, the eyes of, it makes that Bible more complete. And that's just my 2 cents. But we rescue where we can the entire Bible. But if you have scans, please consider sending those to us, and we make those available online for free. We never charge for that service. Okay, so I'm going to move on. And thank you. And so we talked about the different colors. We talked about that and the different handwriting styles. This was interesting. We talk about the Dormius Bible, which was published in June of 1715. When this Bible was sent to us by an individual who just wanted it to be reunited, he included this note: Bible Rescue. Please take note of this Bible, not only because of its age, but the information in it seems to contradict all the online trees. If someone is researching the Dormius lines, this will probably be the most important piece of information they've run across in decades. And that really sums up how a family Bible is a primary source of information. If you can go back to something that was recorded in 1779 or 1780, and it has a different date than a document that you pulled from 1820 or 1920, yeah, there's going to be that preponderance of credibility for that original document. So I actually saved that note, the physical note, because it really sums up the power of the family Bible in doing family history work. Next, the family Bible is a unique source of information. Before this webinar started, the gentleman before me, Carlos, he was talking about accessing your family history if you're Spanish or you're looking for Spanish family history. And he said, oh, what are you presenting on? I said, oh, the family Bible. First thing he said, my mom had one. And she put pictures in there and she put important documents in there. And if you had a family Bible in your home growing up, a good likelihood that the same thing was happening in your home. In many homes back in the 1800s, the family Bible was often the only book in the home. And it became a treasure chest, not of gold, silver, dollars, but of information. And so a wedding certificate would be in there. A birth certificate would be in there. Could you open the Eli Bible to the marriage certificate page? They actually had marriage certificates built into the family Bible because the state didn't require it. So your marriage was recorded not by going to City Hall, but by breaking out the family Bible and actually, can somebody put in chat whether they can see that or not? Because it looks extremely blurry on my end. But if you can read that, let me know, because if you can't, I will stop lifting up these heavy books because all you're doing is seeing blurred words. But that is a marriage certificate. There was another Bible, and it just had photo after photograph. Just beautiful. And I think about the family when we eventually reunite this. This is a death card that commemorates the death of this gentleman. Just incredible wealth of information. So that's another reason why Bible. It's not just the family history. One of the saddest things is we lost so many children at childbirth or during childhood. We just didn't have the medicine, and all these old family Bibles. You will almost, you regularly see the passing of a child. And typically along with that, you will see where they've cut off a lock of hair and they've put it in the Bible. And today we have these cameras and we capture everything. But back then, I just picture these parents, like, how do we remember our child? And they did what I think probably we would all do today, which is, well, let's take a piece of that hair and just keep it in the Bible. And it's heartbreaking, but it's also a motivator as to why we need to get these Bibles back to the family. Okay, let's take a look at some more questions. The video is only focusing, the video is only focusing on your face, not any documents. Thank you, because that's because I'm talking. So the next time I hold up a document, I'm not going to talk, and let's see if it focuses on that. Let's test it right now. Sorry, you're still stuck with my face because it doesn't seem to be any clearer. Maybe there. But again, the significance is just that all these documents are there. They're giving me tech advice. That's a mistake, so I won't read that. Is the birth death certificate information considered firsthand knowledge in citations? Again, if the elements that we discussed earlier in terms of the timeline, the difference in handwriting, if those factors are present, absolutely. And there are several legal cases where courts have ruled, in light of any other evidence, the family Bible information will decide or dictate the outcome of a particular case, because it has this presumption of truth, again, if those other factors are present. And then just one more. I have a legal document created in 1951 that states that a family Bible was taken to the United States prior to 1941 by my grandfather's sister. It states all of his siblings' names and their birth dates. The family name is Willoughby. I will let you know, we do have some Willoughby Bibles. The location of this Bible was unknown in 1951. I'd love to locate it. Again, and I want to be very upfront. Finding your family Bible is not a needle in a haystack. It is a needle in 10,000 haystacks. But I will tell you this, technology has made finding your family Bible much more likely. And we reunite family Bibles on average every month. Now, this past month, I think we reunited 7, 8. And you may say, well, 7 or 8, that's amazing. When you think of everybody who was born and all the chances for that Bible to be destroyed, but it made it, and we're able to reunite it. And I tell people all the time, don't give up, even if you searched for it and you think that it's just not here. Don't give up. It is worth the search. And not just from a, hey, we have this family history information, but from the power and peace it can bring you. And we're going to share some stories on exactly who did that. This is a great question. Do you store the death or funeral cards or scans of them? I'm going to jump ahead and tell you that when I first started Bible Rescue, we rescued these Bibles and I was reuniting them without scanning. It was a solo operation. And like I said, I don't have that genealogy background. And my passion was, let's get this Bible back to that family. And we reunited several Bibles without scanning that information. But can I tell you, the good people at Family Search, they reached out to this very small organization that was rescuing Bibles. And they said, if we send someone to your office to pick up these books, these Bibles, would you let us scan them? And they said, we'd like you to come down and see our facilities in Salt Lake. You know how we were capturing the death cards and I was taking pictures with my iPhone. And Family Search showed us their state-of-the-art scanners that they use to capture this information. And they do. So now every family Bible that we receive, we record it into our system. We assign it a Bible rescue number. That's what Emily does, among many other things. And then Family Search sends someone to pick up these Bibles, and they scan them with their state-of-the-art scanners, and they will scan everything. So they scan the title page, they will scan all the pages with family history, and then if there are, mind you, this is from one Bible, 1, 2, 3, there's about 9 photos and 2 death cards. And they will scan each one of these separately. And because of the quality of their scanners, it'll never look blurry. Let me just put it that way. It is crystal clear. And so if you do go to Family Search and you look under books, you will see a section that says owning institution. And if you look up Bible Rescue, you will see the Bibles that they have scanned to date. Now, I will say because of COVID, that was a process that was put on pause. But just this week, we've resumed that process. So yes, everything that is in that Bible is scanned and preserved, including hair. So thank you. That's a great question. I have an old funeral card from family in Germany. Do you want a copy of it? That's a great question. And we do get asked that all the time. Our focus is really on the Bible, the family Bible. Now, if that card was in a family Bible, then absolutely send us a copy of it. If you're asking if we'll take the original, that's a yes too. But people do reach out and say, I have this. Sometimes it's a military uniform, and they want to reunite that military uniform. I will tell you, there are groups and organizations that do that. Our focus is primarily the family Bible. Just 2 more and then we're going to stop. Do we actively look for family members? Let me just jump ahead and tell you that one of the things that as an organization we're very proud of is we have an alert system that allows your family Bible to find you. So if you visit our website, and we'll walk through this, and sign up for our alert system, we have a paid version, which I think allows you to enter 12 names. And the free version, I think it's 2 or 3 names. Whenever a volunteer enters a name that matches what you've entered, you will receive either a text alert or an email alert saying, oh, you wanted to know when the Jones Bible was listed in Bible Rescue. You'll get that email with a link. You click the link, it'll take you right to that Bible. So yes, in that way, we do reach out to living descendants, but you'd be surprised. Not all the descendants want that Bible. Okay, I'm going to have to move along. How much more time do we have? 20 minutes. So let me go through this and then we'll spend time because there's many more questions than I thought. But we talked about the preservation. Again, this is from one Bible. This is not a staged photograph you're looking at. I think this was the Kochmeyer Bible. It was a German Bible. And everything you're seeing in this photo was in the Bible. You see the lock of hair, the one image where the gentleman is sitting down and the woman is standing up, that's a tintype. And then there's some death cards and death notices. Off to the left, you see the flower that was there. So again, the family Bible was looked at as the place to preserve those documents that today we would probably put in a safe. So lastly, on this section, the family Bible provides incredible historical context. And I just want to share 2 Bibles with you. So when people sometimes make the mistake of thinking the family history information is limited to the date, time, and place, that is not true. Read what this says. Mother and brother both died of the Spanish influenza. That's incredible from a historical point of view. But the next part is what blew me away. Because whoever wrote it, they're thinking that in the future, we may not remember what the Spanish influenza was. Because what do they write? Which was a terrible plague at the time of the World War. Spanish influenza, I believe it killed 23 million people around the world. And I think about the person who wrote this. I don't believe there was a lot of family history information in this Bible. I don't even know if the names of the mother and brother were recorded. But it was important to this individual that that legacy be shared. And when we talk about stories, that's what I'm talking about. This Bible, from this early 1800s, this gentleman, he writes in the Bible. There's about 5 pages of writing. I just want to read, because somebody what was written. And if I may, when we talk about these personal stories that were recorded, it starts by him listing all the battles that he has been in. And there's about 5. And it ends with Shiloh, April 6th and 7th. And if you know American history, the Battle of Shiloh at the time was one of the most costly in terms of lives and blood up to that point in time for the United States, including the Revolutionary War. And he goes on to say, after he lists all these battles, he says, on all these battles, this book was carefully treasured, for its sublime truths furnished comfort amid the terrible tim of carnage and death on the battlefield. And then he talks about him giving it to his son David. My dear son David, that its teachings may be carefully studied and obeyed by him is my earnest prayer. That's irreplaceable. And again, I stress that when you see that, I just felt I had an obligation to preserve it and get it back to the family. And again, I want to stress, it's not something that I came up with. When I launched Bible Rescue, I realized there are thousands of people who are already doing that, who still do it. They'll rescue a Bible, they'll reunite it, and then they find another one and they reunite it. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. And then finally, the emotional connection, which is kind of what we talked about here. This is from the Metling Bible. A baby had passed away. Here is a photograph of that child's funeral. Precious, absolutely precious information. Okay, I just want to spend just a few minutes on this. There are 3 groups of people when it comes to family Bibles. There are the very unhappy people, because this is the group where at one time they actually had their family Bible, and then they lost it. And now they're doing everything they can to find it again. So I want you to type into chat, give me the top 3 reasons why you think a family that had their family Bible, how do they lose it? What do you think those top 3 reasons are? Just take 20 seconds. Have your family Bible, and then you don't. Why do you think that happens? And then we're going to share the list of the top reasons that we've experienced why people lose their family Bible. Randy, with these messages that we're not getting to, are they going to be saved so we can respond to them afterwards?
Are the chats saved? That I don't know the answer to, but I'll find out for you.
Okay, if you could, because I see that there's so many responses, and if we don't get to you, please get on our Facebook page, Bible Rescue. You can message us, or you can go to our website, BibleRescue.org, and send us a message. But please, there's so many great emails, including the feedback we're getting in real time. So please, if you see, if we don't get to you, please message us. I do want to respond. Okay, so if you have your list, I will now tell you this. These are the top reasons that we have found out why people who've had their family Bible lose it. At the top of that list, it's stolen. We've had so many people come in and say, I was taking the Bible to get copied. I was taking it to show my sister or my aunt. And somebody sees an old book. We have the book with the clasp on it. Where's that one? It's not that important, but these Bibles look very expensive because they look old. And people think it's worth something, so they steal it. And we'll talk about values of family Bibles, but that's a leading way why people are separated from their family Bible. The second way, a little bit, it's sad, but it's divorce. We had a young man from Baltimore. He emailed us and said, my parents are getting divorced. Nobody wants this family Bible. Can I send it to you? We said yes, and it had pictures of Black slaves in this Bible, again, that maybe would have been lost. But this young man, even while his parents were going through that divorce, said, there's something here that needs to be preserved. And he did. Fire is another big way that Bibles are lost. And finally, and I'm sure all of you can relate to this to some degree, you loan it to a family member and you never see it again. So keep in mind that when you do have your family Bible, the very first thing you have to do is scan and preserve those contents. So when we went into our first facility, we had all of our Bibles in one room. I came in one morning and the roof was leaking. And had that leak been maybe 6 more feet to the right, it would have annihilated several family Bibles. But when we receive a Bible, we scan it, we record the information, even before we send it to Family Search, because we want to make sure that we preserve that information. So the second group of people are people that do have their family Bible. Very happy folks. And when you do scan it, as we talked about, you want to scan the first title page. You want to check between the Old Testament and the New Testament. And several times in these older Bibles, they almost always contain the Apocrypha. But you want to see if there's a second title page. Because again, there's typically the place of publication, the date of publication, clues that may help in Family Search. So scan both of those, scan all of the family history information. And then as was pointed out by one of the questions, you also want to scan all of these items separately. So you don't want to line up 6 of these and then scan it. You want to scan it one at a time. And if you do have to share it with family, and I'm a big believer in this, I don't believe we should have our family Bible and lock it away. I think its power is most significant when, again, people can touch that handwriting. They can feel the pages that their great-grandmother felt and touched. But be very careful with loaning it out. And if you can, instead of sending the original or taking the original, send copies. They may not talk to you at Thanksgiving, but send them the copies. At least you will have your family Bible. Okay, and then finally, the last group, people who are on the lookout, and we will spend the rest of the time on how do you find your family Bible. One, at the top of the list, I'm going to suggest go to BibleRescue.org. We are always updating Bibles, and if you haven't, If you look at this page up off to the right, you will see it says sign up for alerts. Sign up for an alert. It is a free service. Put in the names that you want to be alerted on. And when any of our volunteers enters that name into our system, you will receive an alert that says, hey, this name was entered. Click this link. It will take you to it. All of our family history information is available at no cost. We don't charge. We do ask for you to purchase the family Bible. And people are sensitive about that. And I think rightfully so. But let me tell you this, there's no one in our organization who is a paid employee. We don't have any full-time staff. We don't even have any full-time contractors. We will hire a contractor to do a particular project. We ask for you to purchase a Bible, and those proceeds are used to purchase more family Bibles. They're used to help us reunite the Bibles. And that's why we ask for that fee. Now, because you're here at RootsTech, I will tell you, but don't tell anyone else. For those families that are unable to afford, and it's costly, we ask for $100. Now, many of these Bibles will go for several $100s, even if we could sell it more because of its antique value, we don't do that. But if there are families and they simply cannot afford it, we do have donors who will help cover those costs because it's that important for us to get these Bibles back to the families. The other reason why we charge, we found that if we don't, there's too many collectors that will just ask for all the Bibles. Why not? They take them and then they sell them. So in a way, it helps us preserve our mission to do it that way. So, but if you go to Bible Rescue, you can search. So I'm going to ask you to go there. Just type in the name of a family member or relative, and you'll see something like this pop up. So if you type in Joseph, Tapscott, or Beals, this Bible will come up. And this is something else that we do that I think is very unique. Our volunteers volunteer remotely, and they're all over the country. And they will look at the images and they will extract the data from those images and upload them into our database. But we also ask our volunteers to share their thoughts with you. And so here, this volunteer said, what a wonderful family history. And that's just their way of connecting with you. And in the notes section, these notes are all from the Bible. So here it says, Frank Beals killed by an auto at 84 years old. Ada Carilla Beals Cox, heart attack, died 81 years of age. Now, if we receive more information on this family, we will add it to the notes section, but we will make clear that it was not part of the Bible, that this was provided by a different organization or Find a Grave or something like that. Now, the earlier question, do you scan all the items? So here, do you see at the bottom where it says view on family search? If the Bible has been scanned by family search, if you click there, it'll take you to that Bible where all of the scanned images are. And again, that is available at no cost as well. So if you search, do we have your family Bible? And again, it's finding a needle in 1,000 haystacks, but it does happen. Even if we don't, sign up for our text alert system. It's a great way, it's a great reminder. Finally, okay, so you search Bible Rescue, we don't have it. Where do you go? You can go to eBay, you can go to Etsy, you can go to Google, Facebook Marketplace, lots of Bibles on Facebook Marketplace. Antique stores, thrift shops. When we say we rescue Bibles, this list that I've read, so that's where we go. Daughters of the American Revolution, they probably have one of the largest collections of family Bible information. They don't try to reunite the actual Bible, but in terms of family history, Daughters of the American Revolution. a massive collection of family Bible records. Your local churches, Family Search, local genealogy groups. Now, let's say you find a family Bible. It's yours or you're just rescuing it. You say, you know what? I'm going to rescue my first Bible and I'm going to reunite it, or I'm going to send it to Bible Rescue and let them reunite it. What should you pay? As a general rule, most family Bibles are not worth a lot of extrinsic value. Now, don't get me wrong, some are thousands of dollars, tens of thousands. But generally, they are not collectible because of their age. So our price point that we try to keep our purchase range in just varies depending on the year of the Bible. The condition is not really significant to us because our purpose is, if it's got family history, we want to get it back. But you shouldn't be paying $100, $200, $300. Again, some Bibles warrant that, so I don't want to paint a bright line rule. But generally, if it's published before the Civil War, it's worth more than if it was published after the Civil War. There's certain collector editions of Bibles that are worth more. We do have people that reach out to us and say, look, I don't want to donate this Bible, but will you buy it? And we do that too. But I always tell our volunteers, we're very careful to say, yes, but if you're looking to get all the value from it, you probably want to take it to an auction or someplace else.
No, just as a note, we're down to the last couple of minutes.
Oh, okay. Then I'm going to go through these real quick. So very quickly, the big debate. When we hold a family Bible, some people say, no, wear gloves. There's another group who say, no, it's good for those brittle pages to let that slight bit of grease from your fingertips moisturize those pages. I happen to be in the latter camp. Next, should you lay your family Bible down flat or standing up? Archivists will tell you all books should be stored standing up. It puts too much pressure on the spine to keep them laying down. Next, these things will destroy a family Bible. The temperature, you want to keep it between that 60 and 70 degrees. Also, you want to keep it consistent in terms of the humidity and temperature. Those wild fluctuations will destroy the pages of a family Bible. Keep it out of direct sunlight. Also, water, #1 destroyer of books. Keep it out of the water. Finally, we reunite these Bibles because I truly believe that everyone we reunite brings the human family closer together. I absolutely believe that. And that's why we do it. So how can you help? Go to BibleRescue.org. You have a Bible. If you want to rescue a Bible, we'll walk you through that process. There's a donate option, but also one of the best things you can do, follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, sign up for our newsletter, because let's say we get the Jules Bible. Well, you may not be a Jules. Your spouse may not be a Jules, but your neighbor, the school teacher, they may be. And if you follow us on Facebook, you'll see that and you'll reach out to them and say, hey, they have your Bible. And we reunite a lot of Bibles through that type of connection. I want to say thank you. Again, I said this was your time. I'm humbled to be here. And I want to thank you. I want to thank all of you who have taken someone that really didn't understand the true significance of family history and patiently said, Joe, this is the better way. And that's been a 10-year process. So thank you. If you do have questions that I didn't get to, I apologize. Please message us on Facebook or go to BibleRescue.org and send us a message. Thank you very much. I said thank you. So why are we still here?
Yeah, I'm just a second.
I'm kidding, Randy. Randy, I'm kidding.
Okay.
I don't know what else to say. I mean, I will now sing, dance. What? I panicked. Okay.
I'm pulling up the screen. Well, never mind. Well, thank you, Joseph, for everything that you've taught us. It's been a wonderful session, and for all of those that have participated. We're very grateful for your participation.
Yes, we are. Thank you very much. Thank you, RootsTech.
We're into the session.